You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my ranking for every dragon we saw in House of the Dragon Season 1. Now, before we get into this ranking, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Season 1 for House of the Dragon has concluded, and we've been doing a lot of Hot D content here on the channel ever since. How can you do some post-season content without touching on the dragons in a show titled House of the Dragon? Now, in this first season of the show, we did meet 10 dragons overall. Now, when I say meet, I use that term very loosely because basically, like 3 to 4 of these we saw. We didn't really meet them. We saw them on the screen. But I did my best to really confine my feelings towards the dragons to what they did here in season 1. Having read Fire and Blood, obviously, I know the outcome to these dragon stories for the most part. I know the events that are to come with them and what their role is overall in the Dance of the Dragons. However, for the sake of this video, we're keeping it to what happened in season 1 of the show. In addition, we're also going to be talking about their design, how cool they were, just how much I like them. It's a completely and totally subjective ranking. It's just my personal opinion, and I can't wait to see how you would rank the 10 dragons from season 1 in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's fire up this ranking. At number 10, I have Sunfire, the beautiful golden dragon of Aegon II. Sunfire was barely in the entire first season of the show. They had an opportunity in episode 9 to really showcase Sunfire and give us a good look at this dragon that in the book is widely known as the most beautiful of all the dragons. But alas, we had to be content with just a peek at Sunfire on Driftmark, and then once again, as he is leaving Driftmark by the end of episode 7. Sunfire doesn't do anything. He's only name dropped, and we only get a peek. Due to lack of screen time, Sunfire just kind of defaulted to last place. Flying in at number 9, I have Dreamfire. Now, Dreamfire is a dragon we saw for literally one single scene in this season. He's bonded with Helena Targaryen, so scratch that. I think we saw her twice because I think Dreamfire was also flying away from Driftmark at the end of episode 7. However, Dreamfire's big moment came in the Dragon Pit when Aemon decided to head on down and maybe try to claim a dragon of his own. Dreamfire wasn't having any of it and almost roasted his little rotted almond ass up. Now, if only Dreamfire had actually torched Aemon, well, even with only one scene, she would have been much higher on this list. But as it is, she can only come in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, I have Vermithor. Another dragon that literally only had one scene of screen time. His scene, though, was a pretty sick one. We get Daemon singing in High Valyrian. Vermithor's old grumpy self comes rumbling out, snarls those grisly teeth, and bursts fire into the room. He looks awesome from just the little bit we got to see of him in that scene. I really liked what they did with this mutual respect kind of connection between he and Daemon. So it makes me excited to see more of Vermithor. Just getting that scene isn't quite enough to lift him any higher on season 1's ranking. And in at number 7 is Vermax. Once again, we see Vermax twice in the first season. We see him a little bit more grown up in episode 10 as he is carrying Jace off to the Vale and Winterfell, but it's only a split second scene. His big moment comes when He's just a wee little dragon. But I absolutely love Vermax's main scene of the series. One, his design is so freaking cute. What an adorable little dragon he was. But two, it really shows us insights into the training process, something we haven't really seen. Yeah, we saw Daenerys kind of giving commands and teaching baby Drogon specifically as they got older, but this was a different type of teaching, this bonding experience. And kind of gave insight into more of what that bonding looks like between Ryder and Dragon. Yeah, he was easily the cutest thing I saw on screen when it came to season one. So Vermax had to at least get above all the other dragons who only had a scene. At number six, I have Arax. Another adorable little dragon. He is definitely the same species as Daenerys's dragons. He kind of looked like a pale version of a baby Drogon. This poor little guy deserved better. He was so cute. They infused him with so much personality in his one episode appearance on the show. Seeing that bond with him and Luke, seeing him run towards Luke, they were both so scared and shared that same energy and connection in the final episode. But not only was he adorable, I mean, in his fear, he attacked the biggest, baddest dragon of them all. Now, he paid for it in the end and, well, became lunch. But while he was here, I loved Arax, and I'm so sad that we only got that limited time with this adorable dragon. Kudos to you, Arax, for flying in the face of a storm and flying in the face of the nastiest beast of the Dragon Kingdom. You'll be missed. Speaking of lumbering in at number five, I have Vagar, the biggest, baddest dragon of them all, the queen of the dragons, the oldest living creature pertains to House of the Dragon. We first hear of Vagar early in the series as Lena is very excited about her. And then we see her with Lena. Their connection was actually so beautiful. They're just having fun. Lena is just expressing her joy of riding. Lena and Vagar are just kind of a joyful pair for the most part in what we get to see. And then, in my favorite instance of showcasing the connection between Ryder and Dragon, we get Lena's death scene. And this was actually my favorite moment of Vagar's in season one. Seeing her initially refuse the command to kill Lena, but then really tuning into Lena's pain and what she was feeling in that moment, and ultimately deciding to give her Ryder that final wish. Oh, it was such a powerful scene and it was so well done. Really the top moment of Vagar for me in season one. Then we get a pretty awesome flight sequence as well with her and Amond when he claims Vagar. She really puts him to the test. Once again, really demonstrating the dragon's autonomy in everything. Vagar basically is here to show dragons making their own choice in season one. Because when she decides to let Amond at least give it a shot, she takes him through the ringer. It's a difficult flight. She makes sure he is ready, prepared, and worthy to become her rider. Unfortunately, he is worthy, and it shows a new side to Vagar. And she decides to commit war crimes and murder for Luke and Arax, and then became probably the most hated dragon on the show. Vagar, why? Nana, we were all rooting for you. But once again, that moment kind of showcased the power lies with the dragon, and Vagar chooses to attack, even though her rider is asking her not to. Once again, showcasing the autonomy of the dragons themselves. She did a lot. Maybe she could have been higher. I didn't love that last decision she made. I think the show slandered my girl Vagar just a little bit, making her make that choice at the end, giving her this big old turkey waddle. I didn't read a damn thing about a turkey gobble in the damn book. Why'd you have to do my girl Vagar like that? Again, at number 4, I have Sea Smoke. Oh, I loved Sea Smoke. I loved him. And once again, I just wish we had more time with Sea Smoke in this first season. Now he's riderless. He can't even take a new rider because his rider is still alive. He's just chilling on Dragonstone by himself. Uh, knowing Laenor's out there somewhere and just ditched him. He's abandoned. Season 2 is going to open with Sarah McLachlan playing over a montage of Sea Smoke just aimlessly wandering, looking along Dragonstone, sad, pitiful. What a beautiful dragon. I love to see Smoke's design. He's another one that clearly looks like he's the same species as Daenerys's 3 dragons. He gets the amazing moments in that fight on the Stepstones with Laenor Velaryon. They're having fun. They're having a blast. Sea Smoke has like this big old grin on his adorable face. And then, of course, we see him swooping on in to bring Laenor to his wedding. We see him on the Isle of Driftmark. It just wasn't enough, though. I needed more Sea Smoke, but the episode where he got to shine, he really got to shine. Probably some of my favorite dragon moments of the entire show to this point came from this pale beauty of a dragon right here. Again, at number 3, I have Melees. The Red Queen soars into this 3rd spot. Now, they didn't show Melees as much as I kind of anticipated they would in the season. First, we see her flying in to the royal wedding with Sea Smoke, delivering Rhaenys to her son's nuptials. But then we don't see Melees again until episode 9. But oof! The Red Queen certainly knows how to make an entrance when she does appear once more, bursting through the floorboards, well, killing quite a few peasants and ordinary folk of King's Landing. However, she was there to send a message. You bitches want to keep me and my girl Rhaenys locked up? Uh-uh, I don't think so. And sent a nice intimidating roar right to the Council of the Greens. Plus, her vibrant red beauty just sings off the screen each and every time she's on screen. And of course, we see her for just a moment flying from Dragonstone in episode 10. But obviously, episode 9 was the shining moment for Melees. And it was certainly one of the coolest moments a dragon got in the season. Now, coming in at number 2, the runner up position, I have Syrax, the dragon of Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. What a beautiful dragon Syrax is. I love her design. Get a lot of kind of still beautiful shots of her as well, more so than we did most all of these other dragons. Really clear, beautiful pictures of Syrax right from the beginning. She is one of our big opening shots as she flies into King's Landing. We see that initial bond she has with Rhaenyra right from the beginning. And then the amazing moment she gets early on in the season, flying in once again to intimidate Otto Hightower on the bridge and send a message to Daemon as well. There's Syrax flying from the clouds to deliver Rhaenyra once more. She pulled a very similar stunt in episode 10, and of course, she's part of the burial service of Rhaenyra's mother. But for me, although she's hardly in the sequence, the big moment for Syrax in season 1 was episode 10, where they intersplice between Rhaenyra having her stillborn baby, going through this excruciating pain, and they cut to moments with Syrax also feeling that bond and feeling that pain that Rhaenyra is going through, even though they're nowhere near each other in proximity at that time. But this was probably the most powerful moment of showcasing the rider and dragon bond, and what a great bond Rhaenyra has with Syrax. That means coming in at number 1, we have Caraxes, the red worm. How could I not put Caraxes at this top spot. Kind of the dragon that stole the show throughout season one, from his first appearance with that awkwardly long neck in episode one to the little trolls he did with Damon. He has that fiery personality of his owner. He and Damon also showcase several times throughout the season how in tune they are. Without a command, without giving any sort of verbal cue, Caraxes arrives to defend and stand with Damon in several instances throughout the season, including in that final episode. He's the dragon that made the most appearances throughout season one. He had the largest role to play throughout season one, and he had so many of the most badass moments of the entire season. His design is absolutely insane. He is so unique. He looks completely different than any of the other dragons we've ever seen in this universe. He's this weird, skinny, lanky dragon that looks hella awkward flying through the air, but it all adds to the charm of this strange, ferocious red worm. Not to mention, he's also distinct in noise. I absolutely love the clicks and the chirps that Caraxes does rather than just straight up roaring all the time. I love that they gave him this really unique and interesting set of sounds. He's quirky, he's badass, and he stole the entire season. That is why I couldn't put any other dragon at number one. It had to be Caraxes as the best dragon from season one of House of the Dragon. That is my personal ranking of the 10 dragons we saw in the first season of House of the Dragon. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. I want to hear how you rank the dragons we saw in season one. Leave those dragon rankings either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.